And moving on, this shot here, another one of Kristen in black and white. You're taking something so colorful and desaturated it, but it works. Most of the frame is black.
It is.
How did you come about this shot?
This, again, accident. You'd be amazed all the things that happen by accident. And yeah, I feel like I should say everything's planned, but it's not, and that's the great thing about what I do. I was getting ready to either, I think it was switch my lens or switch my light settings, and there was a crack in my curtain that was shining on her face. And I thought that natural light was so gorgeous. It was completely different from what we were doing, but she was just sitting there thinking. And so I was like, Kristen, just hold it for a second. I switched and I took that photo just using natural light.
That's nice. You're using lens flare in this next photo to your advantage. A lot of people try and avoid lens flare, but here you are working with it. How do you do this?
I'm a big lens flare person. I love lens flare. I try to incorporate it in every shoot almost if I can. I was playing off backlighting, bouncing the light from behind the subject. I had a white backdrop set, and you can't tell, it's all black.
I was going to say, really?
But I managed to expose it in such a way where I wanted to have that lens flare coming through her arm. And when I looked at it on camera, I could see all these different colors. So we just really played with that in the shoot.
It feels like she's in a nightclub or something.
Yeah, well, that was part of the shoot was to really have that nightclub vibe.
And you're using lens flare again in your to your advantage in the next photo. Is this personal work or is this commercial?
It's personal. It's my husband. I feel bad for him. He's like in all of my photos when I'm trying to test new lighting techniques. I was playing with lens flare after having watched Zach Arias's One Light DVD. I was like, oh, I need to do that with 2 lights. So I had the alien beef exposing his face, and then I had the lens flare in the back. We were just kind of playing around, and this photo came out, which was great. Everybody says he looks like the guy from Doctor Who. I'm like, oh, it's a keeper.
I can see that. And here he is again.
Poor Adam.
More personal work?
Yes. He's involved in a lot of my personal work when I need to test a new light technique. I had just gotten back from a Scott Kelby workshop, and it was a seminar more than a workshop, so I was sitting there taking notes of all the different lighting techniques. So I looked at him and I said, all right, I need to try these different lighting techniques. Will you mind standing in front of the backdrop for me while I play? Of course, he's like, but it was all about the lighting, backlighting with the big softbox, and then the umbrella in front, kind of creating these dramatic shadows on his face. I call it the Steve Jobs photo, because he's all rugged.
And going from a very light photo to a very dark photo, you've got some nice Rembrandt light there. What are you doing here?
Playing. That's all I'm doing is playing. It's still the same backdrop, just one light now. I really wanted a dramatic side lit just to get one side of his face. And I really like, again, by accident, how the light is kind of going into the other eye. Because it's not as mysterious, I feel like. He's got one eye, no, he's got 2.
Right. That's nice how you were able to just light up that one, the second eye, so it didn't appear that way. What kind of setup did you have?
I had my alien bee on a big softbox next to him, and I kind of was shooting, having him walk forward and backwards.
And for those of us that don't know what alien bees are, they're
it's
lights?
a type of light.
They're strobes.
It's a strobe. And mine's hot pink, for if anybody wanted to know. They come in different colors.
They do. And moving on to the next photo, a photo of Christine. It's a very quiet image. What was this shot for?
Well, Christine is an opera singer. She's a college and high school friend as well. She has an incredible voice. She wanted some headshots for her portfolio. She wants to move to New York and pursue her singing career. I mean, she's amazing. She wanted to really express a sense of duality in her images, her artistic self and her personal self, and she just wanted these really beautiful portraits of her for her portfolio. So I had a makeup artist come who also went to high school with us. And so we had a big high school party at my house, and then we just had this really great shoot.
And everybody got work out of it.
Yes.
Now, the next photo, he looks like a football player. It looks like he's lit up in a football stadium, but he's not. He's in a studio.
Right.
What did you do?
Well, actually, Gary is Christine's boyfriend, and he is a hip-hop artist, and he's also a guitarist. He wanted some edgy photos for his website to really showcase his kind of more hard style, but still edgy. Well, I call everything edgy. But I had 2 lights set behind him. I really wanted to play with this look that looked like he was on stage. Of course, he looks like a football player because of the angle, but I really liked it. I liked the colors. I liked his pose. I just felt like it really worked.
And by getting a lower angle, I don't know if he's really tall or not, but he looks very tall.
I'm also on the floor.
Yeah.
I was like,
gave him power.
it just, yeah, it makes him look like I'm looking down versus up at the camera. It just gives this more powerful look to the image. It's interesting what you can do with angles when you're shooting people.
Yeah. You can give them a different type of light.
Right.
You know, who they are. And then the next photo, this looks like a makeup ad or something. It looks...
This was, even though she hired me to take photos of her tattoo, this image was really personal for me. I was playing with grids, which is like a thing that you put on the Alien Bee, which limits how much light is put out. And I had never photographed with it before. This was for me. The shoot was done, and I kept her there. And I just really liked how even the lighting was across her face. And she's just gorgeous.
Yeah.
So I just really, that one was for me.
And then the photo for her, the next one of her tattoo, is it a color tattoo?
It is.
But you made it black and white.
I did. All the images that she got were in color because I felt like that would be horrible to the tattoo artist who she wanted these for to be in black and white, because it is about the color work. For me, it was about the shape. I love black and white. So I really made this one for me. It was about the shapes. It was about the line of her body, her face, and the line work on her side.
It's nice. The contrast really pops. And we're out of the studio again.
Yeah.
You have an engagement shoot.
I do.
How did you set this up? Did it just happen?
I have one pose up my sleeve that I usually use in engagement sessions, and that's to have the girl or whoever the female is that I'm photographing turn around and kind of lean her face on her fiance. I asked her to turn around because I saw that the wind was blowing, and the minute that she turned around, it just had this very J. Crew look when I shot it. And I wanted it in black and white because I really felt like this was a clothing ad. I was like, this is one of my favorite photos.
Yeah, it looks very natural, like it, you know, like it just happened.
Yeah.
It's nice. And then we have a shot with cars.
Ah, yes.
Were you on the ground when you were shooting this?
Yes, I was sitting on the floor.
How did you come up with this idea?
I had seen something similar online from one of the other Subaru girls. I love cars, and these two are a very special couple to me. Not only are they car lovers, car people, car lovers, they're car folks, but they just graduated from high school maybe like 2 years ago, so they're newly engaged. Such a sweet couple. They both have this love for cars and for each other, and I just really had a blast with this session.
It looks like a lot of fun.
It really was.
No, you were using a wide angle lens for this. What lens were you using?
24 to 70, 2.8. That's 24 millimeter, yeah, that.
Nice. And moving on, the next one, light tower. Is this HDR?
No.
How did you come up with this?
Well, while shooting for another photographer, her name is Liz, she does a lot of night shots, and I love lighting. And I just seeing her work and how she always thinks outside the box with her night shots really inspired me to do this shot. I did a site visit for this wedding a few days before, and I saw the tower, and I'm like, what am I going to do with the tower? It's not exactly exciting during the day. I was like, I think I'm going to use it for my night shot. I'm going to have them there. I'm going to put the light behind them, and I'm going to shine it. Of course, I was supposed to leave at 9. That's when the session ended for wedding coverage, and the sun still had not set. I had intended it to be a full night shot, but it really worked to my advantage to have that dusk look in the background, because it really made the photo.
Yeah, it really works. Now, how did you light this up? Did you use off-camera flash? Did you have a battery pack for your strobe?
I use a off-camera flash, the ones that you put on your camera, the SB900, put it on a light stand with a trigger, and I had the trigger on my camera, and I just
trigged it with a radio. Yep. Well, it looks fabulous.
Thank you.
So when you graduated college, you had only ever shot film, and you transitioned into commercial work only in digital. How was that transition?
It was hard. I'm not gonna lie, I did take a couple digital classes. It was 2, but it was all Photoshop. And okay, well, Lightroom is so much easier nowadays. But yeah, the transition was hard. I didn't do any of the editing when I first started working with a commercial photographer. I just shot and handed cards, which really wasn't to my advantage because I wasn't learning per se how to shoot. I wasn't looking at my images after the shoot. I was just handing off my cards, so I kept making a lot of mistakes that were redundant and repetitive, only because I wasn't looking at the final product. Right. When I started shooting for myself and really seeing it on the computer, I started to learn, okay, well, that doesn't really edit well. I can't shoot really under or really overexposed because I'm not really going to be able to save that image and have really great quality. It was a lot of self-teaching, seminars, learning about other photographers, really just teaching myself how to shoot digital.
Which is different.
Yeah.
I mean, so when you made the jump in the digital and you had to go and get a digital camera, did you find it challenging to pick one out and get all new gear?
It was, especially since I didn't know a whole lot. I mean, that's, I guess, speaking horribly about college, but I didn't know a whole lot about digital cameras when I graduated. So I was shooting Canon. I had a little digital SLR that I bought when I worked at Circuit City, and my best friend really was what triggered it for me. She shot Nikon, and I loved all her wedding photos that she took from my wedding. And I was like, what you have, I want. So I went, she had Nikon, I bought a Nikon. I wanted full frame. She told me she had nothing but either 2.8 lenses or the 1.4s, and that's what I wanted. And then after I bought the camera, I started researching into what those things meant. Because I was like, well, she has it, I want it. Because she's shooting these great images, I want to do that. And so that's how I got into Nikon, was really because of my friend. And then I started really learning and understanding my camera a lot better. And then through the courses that I've been taking and seminars and local networking groups, I've really been able to learn what to do with it.
Right. For more information about Anna Bruce's work, please contact her using the information on your screen. It was great having you here today. Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so flattered. So this was a great experience, and thank you for giving me a chance to get all dazzled.
It was fun.
Thanks.
Join us next time, Behind the Lens.